Hello, everyone. Hello. I hope you're joining me tonight. It is Thursday Live, and I am so excited to be here with you. I actually am going to be sharing something with you on my desk in hopes that that helps with the internet connection this evening. I know that when I do it over where I normally film for the videos that I edit, it must be the wall or something that interferes with the internet. So I'm hoping that this helps. Also, I am, what else was I going to say? Oh, I can't see the screen very well. So if you comment and I don't see, I apologize. It's just I can't see the screen because the screen's up there and I'm right here. But anyway, so let's just go ahead and get started. Tonight I am going to be using the Ink Roads stamps. This one is Golden Friends. And so I'm going to be using this stamp set. Obviously, it's off of the Golden Girls. And then I'm also going to be using this square die cut set that they have with the stitch. I think it comes with the plain or the not plain. But for this card, you totally don't need this die cut. You can do this with just, just your paper cutting tools. You don't need it. But I did use all of my squares with this. So I've already gone ahead and pre-cut my pieces out of here. And the thing that I do enjoy about these squares is a lot of them line up beautifully with the sentiments that the Ink Road Stamps has put out. So for this particular set, I'm making a 5x7 card. And these are going to be my base pieces. I'm going to be using some Renia foil paper. I'm going to be doing something fun with that. And the sizes that I used for these cards is I used this one for this, and then I went on my paper trimmer and just cut this down 1/4 of an inch on each side, and then did that as well for this. And then for the sentiment, I used this, and then I went on my paper trimmer again and cut that down one more time. So, but like I said, you guys do not have to use these. You can totally use your paper trimmer. You don't need these little boxes. I just found them to be rather convenient. So that's kind of what I did. I'm going to set this aside for now, and we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to do is I want to stamp my sentiment, or stamp my little image. Actually, no, I do not. I want to start to put my card together first. So this is my card base, and I always put my little stamp off to the side so I know which side to work on, or else I'll forget. So I'm going to actually do a card in which there's kind of a square off over to the top. So I want to do a different type card tonight, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to remove this for a minute because I'm going to use this little tool and my ruler to go ahead and just do that. And I'm just cutting off an edge. No rhyme or reason on this. I'm just going to cut off an edge like so. Actually, I'm going to put it more down like that. Okay, and I have that wrong. Okie dokie. So I'm just putting it off, and I'm just going to take my little Fiskar cutting tool. I also use this for, oh, see, and I did that wrong. I need to do it towards me. I apologize, you guys, but that's okay. I'm just going to do it again. And I'm going to be able to fix that a little bit, so no worries. Oh, the paper that I'm using, I picked up at Joann's. It's this stack. Pretty much everything in this, with the exception of the Renia foil paper, is coming out of this stack. So I think I got it on sale for like $5 or $10. Really good deal. All right, so I'm going to do a whole bunch of layering on this, And I just want to start off with first layering the glitter cardstock. And again, I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to just place my glue down like so. And that way I can kind of slide it around a little bit, because that's important to me, that I can move it around. I'm going to flip it over, and then just right where I made that cut before, I'm going to make that cut again. And like I said, see how it's crooked right there? I can totally straighten it up right now. Alright, so I may have to go over that one more time. That cardstock is awfully thick. So let me go over one more time. Oop. My sample came together fairly nicely. Oh, it's because oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm on the ruler. That's why. I'm cutting my ruler. You guys, this is just, but it came off. Not my night. I will eventually get it. So this is super, super sharp. All right. Then from here, I want to go ahead and layer on this piece. And again, I'm just going to bring it in a touch. And since I am working on glitter paper, I do want to use this glitter glue. Because as you know, glitter is adhesive's enemy, so I really love this art glitter glue. I use it on everything, I think, pretty much now. Alright, so there's this. And I want to move that down, center it up, so there's a nice mat on it. And then this time, maybe I'll try the other side of the ruler as to avoid cutting my ruler. You could do this with scissors too, once you get that initial cut done. In fact, I think I am going to do that with scissors. And then once I cut it, I'll go through and just add some more adhesive to it. This definitely is not as pretty and neat as my sample was, but that's all right. We're gonna fix it. We're just gonna roll with it. You're not gonna be able to see this. Okay, so from here I have this Renia foil paper, and basically what this is it is 2 pieces of foil that have been infused on a piece of white paper. And you can do a whole bunch of cool things with it. I'm gonna go ahead and emboss it just to give this card a little bit of personality. And I love the size of this, is perfect with the Sizzix 3D type embossing folder. So that's what I'm going to do. If it was a 4.25 by 5.5 card, I could use a different embossing folder, but for this, I need to do it like so. All right, and just gonna take this, pop it on in here. So you can just like run it through like you would regular paper. It totally works wonderfully. And you know, if you don't have Renia foil paper, I do have a link down below, but you can totally improvise. Use what you have. That's my motto. Always, 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 always. Use what you have, unless there's just something that is like, ooh, so cool. You have to have it. You have to try it. But, all right. Now this is a little bit thicker, so hopefully this can, yeah, it's not wanting to pop through. Let me go ahead and remove one of these. Actually, you know what I think I can do? I think I can take it and do that in this. Or not. Or not. I made my sample last week. I was so excited, so maybe I might be going the wrong way. I promise you guys, I use this thing all the time. I will figure it out. What is my problem today? Goodness gracious. This is what makes lives fun. You can watch the person just totally have issues. Why are you not going through? That's not going to do it, but thank you for finally working for me. Let's see here. There, that's some pressure. Okay. All right, so I don't know what my problem was there, but I had one, and you got to see it. So those are things that when you edit a video, you can go ahead and edit them out. But anyway, this is what that does, is it creates just a really beautiful embossed image. Better than anything I normally see. I'm going to put this back down and hopefully that glare will dissipate a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece and add it like so. Again, I am doing directly on my card. And I do, like I said, I like this because I can smoosh it around and get the right placement. There we go. And then I'm going to flip it over and just run this again. Oh, I don't want to do it on this map. That won't be good. Okay. So let's just run this on over. And you could even fold it back if you wanted, but that's already looking so pretty. So I'm just going to take my scissors along that line that I just did. All right, and now our base is done. So let's move on to, we are done with this little Duma Flunky. Thank God. I was just having all the issues tonight. Okay. So from here, I want to start to work on the pieces of my card, and that means some stamping. For the inside of the card though, so when it closes, it's going to have this flap. I want to add on a mat and a seine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to put my mat down, and actually I'm going to ink the edges gray on this. Kind of wanted to finish off the edges on this because I am going to finish off the edges on the other side. All right, goes with that. Alrighty. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment on a piece of Starburst Rainier foil paper. So my sentiment is going to be the Stay Golden. And I'm going to do that first because it is going on this glossy cardstock, and it's going to take a minute or two to set up, so I can set this aside as we work on the front. I'm using StazOn ink. This is my very favorite ink to use on glossy anything, especially on the Rainier foil paper. I really like it. So we're going to do Stay Golden, and as you can tell, I have put my stamp on both sides of my set. And what I do is I use them, and then at the end I go through and I clean them. I think that that's something that Simon Hurley does, and I think I picked it up from him, which is a great thing because then I don't lose my stamps because, you know, they're off being cleaned somewhere. But I did manage to misplace my steel needle top for that, so I've got to figure out where that one is. Okay, and then this is Thanks for Being a Friend underneath of it. And this will dry, and once it dries, it is permanent, it won't rub off, but I just want to give it a little bit of time to dry as we finish up the front of the card. So, all right, let me set that aside. Now, for the front of the card, I have these layering pieces, and I'm going to do a sentiment on this one, and then I'm going to do some images on this one. So let me go ahead and just get my sentiments set up first, and I'm going to be doing some embossing on this in silver. So I'm using my Nuvo Clear Mark embossing powder. Any embossing pad will work. So, and then I am using Brutus Monroe's Sterling embossing powder. I have to tell you, their embossing powder is probably my very favorite around. I absolutely love it. And then let me go ahead and just set this off in here and go ahead and tap that off. And then I'm going to heat set it. And I do have this little line here that I don't really want. So let me see if I can get it off. If not, oh well. Sometimes that happens. I just noticed it. Okay, so go ahead and finish heat setting it. All right, and it's the older you get, the better you look. This would make a great birthday card, I think. And I'm just going to ink the sides gray. And then I'm going to take my art glitter glue and go ahead and pop this down like so. And this sentiment is ready. So next up, I want to put my image in. And that's kind of what that looks like. So my image is really fun. It's the four ladies: Blanche, Rose, Dorothy, and Estelle. I loved this show, you guys. It still comes on Sundays. They do a marathon. I think it's out here. It's on channel 58, and I watch it all of the time. So again, I'm going to emboss in silver. And then I'm going to use a Copic marker and just give a little bit of color to their hair. Actually, it's an alcohol marker. I'm not using a Copic marker. Okay. And I have a little bit right there, so I'm going to take and just my brush and just get that off. All right. And then from here, I'm going to heat set this once again. Kind of clearing off my space so it's not entirely cluttered. All right, let me heat set this. All right, that's super cute. And before I add my color, I'm just gonna take the archival smoky hickory smoke and just go around the edges on it real quick. I am just butterfingers tonight. Oh my goodness. All right, so there is that. And I do like to kind of get a little bit of it on the front. I just like the look of it. So what you want to do whenever you are using alcohol markers is, especially when you're working on a glass surface, is you want to put a piece of scratch paper underneath of your paper. And what that allows you to do is it allows the color to not seep back up into your picture, your image. So it will cause for less runs. Part of the reason why I emboss this also is because I'm super sloppy and I want to just make sure that I stay in the lines. So I'm just putting down, these are touch markers. I've seen them at Jogglers as well as Close to My Heart has them. So I really like them. I like the price point on them is a little bit less expensive than Copics, but don't get me wrong, I still got my Copics. I still love those. And so for this, I just really like the color selection on this. And I'm going to be using the colorless blender. And just so you know, colorless blenders are not really blenders. They are really color erasers. So I am going to be taking out some of the color. So I just go through and I just start to kind of dab and, you know, color it. And it kind of removes some of that color. And I just really like what it ends up looking like. All right, so I have Blanche's done. Next up, I believe this is Dorothy. And she has a little bit, this character has a little bit darker hair. So I'm going to put down some Barely Beige first. And if you want to blend color, what you would do is you would do exactly what I'm doing right now. And that you put your lightest color down first. And then you would put your second to the lightest color down. And I'm just going to actually take and dot it on. I like how that looks on this hairline. All right, so I'm just taking that in and just dotting it through. And then I'm going to take my bronze and do it next. Dot this through like so. And then I'm going to go back over it with my Barely Beige, and that will start to blend it all through. I don't know if you can see that, but where I started to color it, it already is starting to blend together. So I'm going to blend it, and then I'm going to go over it one more time with that gray. So that's the bronze. We're going to set the bronze aside. Then I'm just going to go over it one more time with the gray. Yeah, she needs to have more gray hair than brown. Blanche colors her hair, so that's why she gets brown hair. And then I'm going to just color it out a little bit more. And then to add pops of highlight in this, I will go ahead and use my colorless blender and just dab it on through in some areas, rub it on through. All right, so the next one is going to be Rose. Rose has a little bit lighter color hair, so for her, I am strictly going to be using some warm gray in the 4. This one is the 7, so it's a little bit darker. Whenever you're using Copic markers, you can always tell what the shades that are darker because of the numbers that are with it. So for like a gray, it'll say G for gray, and then the number 1 would be light, 2 would be your mid, and 3 would be your dark accents. And then you would use your 1 to blend. All right, and I'm going to give her a little bit of red earrings as well. She has little earrings right there. And I'm just going to go over with my colorless blender on this and take some of that color out. I really, really, really want to lighten that up, just to remove some of that color. And then we have Estelle. And with her, we're just going to go and use this light gray. She's almost white. So, ooh, I missed a comment. I'm so sorry. I'll have to catch it later. Oh, if I can get this off. Okay, we'll do this in. So for Estelle, we're just going to go through. I think that's her name. Estelle. And I'm just popping on some of these little dots in gray. All right, and then I'm going to go through with my colorless blender because I want to take color away. And I'm just lightening it up, removing that color. Okay, so my little figureheads are done. And from here, I want to go ahead and just assemble this. So let me take my piece of paper away. I don't need that anymore. I'm done coloring on it. But that's the biggest tip I can give you whenever you're working with alcohol markers, is put a piece of paper underneath of it. All right, so done with those. I'm going to take my glue again. And I'm using the same glue. I'm not doing pop dots tonight. I just want it to be flat. There's this. And then let me put this one on like so. All right. And then I'm going to take my card and I'm going to glue in right here my sentiment. And if you notice, the paper is crinkled up. It's like kind of folded and bent, but that's okay because once you lay it down, it totally goes flat. You'll never know that it had any marks in it whatsoever. And my ink is totally dry now. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm just going to place this right about there. So I'm going to use a little bit of my glue on this and I'm just going to place it right about there. And I'm going to get my sentiment ready to go, which is right here. And that's going to go right down here on the bottom. And then actually, I had another thing that was supposed to go on, and I don't know what I did with it. I had another piece of cardstock that it was supposed to go on, and I'm not sure what I did with it. Well. Oh well. Alright, so from here, I have these little jewels, these little gems that I want to kind of put off in the corner. And they're silver, so I'm just going to do 1, 2, and 3, just to give it a little something something. I'm all about the bling. Of course, there's that one, and here's this one. And the beauty of this glue also is it dries completely clear. All right. And then once this dries, sets up a little bit, we can fold it. And what you are left with, I actually have a sample off to the side. And I'm going to show you also what I did real quick with another one of the square die cuts. So this is what this looks like when it's done. So it's pretty cool how you can see the back peeking through. I just love that. Really like it. And then my sample was this one. And as you can tell, I had another sheet right here. So when that one opens up, like you can't see any of the gold foil on the back side like that. So that was my sample one. And then this one I just made because it was fun. And if you offend easily, I really am sorry for that, because I know that it can offend, but I just think that the sentiments on this are just so funny. I love the I'll get the cheesecake, you know, that's so iconic. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's live. Next week I'm coming back with another pop culture. I think it was either the 90s or the 2000s. I do give hints out on Instagram about what it's going to be, so you can always head over there and check it out. Also, if you create anything, I really want to see it, so make sure that you tag me, Beth's Golden. You can find me on Scrappy Cafe is my Facebook page. You can also find me on Facebook under Beth's Golden, and then also on my Instagram as Beth's Golden. I would love to see what you guys create and possibly reshare if that is okay with you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and come back next week and we will play some more. If you are on replay, thank you so much. And if you guys haven't subscribed, I hope you consider doing so. Give this video a thumbs up and ask any questions down below. All right, I will chat with y'all later. Until next time, happy crafting.